Yo, what's up, guys? Back here with another video. Hope you guys are doing good. My bad, I got this thing in my nose. I got a little cold right now, but just don't want to put this video out. So please forgive me if this is in the way, but you know what I mean. I'm still gonna put this video out. So I got a couple scriptures I want to get into, but first, I'm gonna make some food first, man. Make some food first, and then we're gonna get into the scripture, man. Still had a hard workout today, man. I'm just trying to stay consistent, man. In these hard times, I'm just trying to stay strong. I'm trying to keep my head sharp, even though I'm going through very stressful times here. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to keep my head above water. Just trying to pray for more strength. You know what I mean? But I'll be alright. He will lift me out of this horrible thing. But you know what I mean? I'm just grateful for another day. I'm still alive. So that's all that matters. I wasn't gonna work out a little bit more, but I want to put this video out before I forget. So I'm gonna just put this out, bro, because this is important, man. I don't want to delay this, because the enemy already delayed me enough. I had enough of that, bro. You know what I mean? Had enough of that. I've been meaning to show you guys for a little bit, but usually, I don't do this all the time, but I'm gonna do it now. This is a good post-workout snack / meal, but make a little peanut butter sub, Gotta be fire, bro. I'm low-key hungry, bro. I did eat a little bit earlier, but was basically fasting all day, so intermediate fast, I wouldn't say it's hard, because I've gotten used to fasting for days now, so, usually going half a day or a full day is pretty easy for me now, but going like I said, past 3 days, that's when it gets hard, so that just shows you, how much stronger my mind is, my spirit, because of Yahweh strengthened me, and every time I'm not fasting, like I said, I gotta catch up, man. Be catching up on food, training hard. Okay, I don't know what happened. I think we cut out, man. Okay, what I was trying to say is, when I be working out, especially after fasting, even more, I'd be working out even more because I don't want to lose any muscle. So that's what I'm saying. After fast, I'll be catching up on food and be working out harder because I ain't gonna lose any muscle. That's what I meant to say, but I don't know why the camera cut out, but okay, it's all good. It is what it is. I just want to make that clear, bro, because I'm still trying to bulk, but then whenever I get attacked, sometimes I gotta lose a little bit of weight, or fat, mainly fat, like I said, it's a sacrifice I gotta make, bro, because I would rather be a little bit lighter with the Holy Spirit on me and cleanse rather than to be like 200 pounds, all muscular, but now I'm filled with all these Jezebel spirits, and I never got them out of me. Like, nah, fuck that, bro. I'm just be real. I see that all the time, bro. I see like bodybuilders that are like 240 pounds, but they still seem feminine. They act feminine because from all that fucking porn they're watching, and they got the Jezebel spirit in them. It never left because they never fasted, they never prayed, they got it out. I'm not gonna be like that, so I gotta get it out of over time. I just gotta be patient. So my bad. I'm trying to get the rest of this peanut butter, bro, because this is pretty much out. So fuck it, we're gonna use the whole thing. But yeah, bro, I still take my training seriously, man. Like I said, I'm not as big as I used to be. I'm not as big as I want to be, but over time, Yahweh's gonna get me there. But He's gonna get me through. He's gonna get me there on His time, not on my time. It may take a little bit longer, but I'm gonna get there you know, and I'm gonna be molded, like he's gonna mold me into a better man, mentally, spiritually, physically, like every way, man. It's not just only physically, and then I'm lacking the mental, the spiritual strength too. You know what I mean? That's what I see a lot. That's what I see a lot of men lacking nowadays. I don't even call them men. You know? There's this other guy that said that on YouTube, man. You know, he calls them man boys. You know, they'd be 30-year-old, 40-year-old men, but you know, they still, you know, watch the hub. They still do this. They don't, you know, they don't do any of these things, bro. That are also key to disciplining yourself as a man. I mean, as a real man. Like I said, they don't fast. They don't do none of that, bro. So it's like, yeah, you may look like a 40-year-old man, but you're like 14, 13 mentally, you know. And I'm not messing with that, bro. I know I might look young, but I don't feel young sometimes. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. At least I've accepted it. I'm not perfect. And I still got a lot of maturing to do as a man. It's just sometimes that, you know, I look at these men, they're like 20 years older than me. Or like I said, man boys. And I'm like, bro, they want to call me immature, bro. But it's like, I feel like I'm doing more than them. And they got something to call me this and that. But it is what it is, man. I'm gonna just accept it because I know I gotta improve too. So you know, that's just the truth. We're not perfect, bro. Hold on, I'm gonna grab a different knife. So I'm gonna get back to you guys in a minute. Hold on. All right, guys. I don't want to make it too long, you know, going back and forth. But I just got a smaller knife. I'm gonna just dig this out, bro. I may even need to use another piece of bread. You know, I used 2 pieces of bread, but I may need to use a third knife. I already put too much peanut butter on every piece of bread. It's kind of falling, so we need the calories anyways, bro. So it's all good. I'll take it, bro. But yeah, no, like, but that's just something that I feel like, you know, our society is missing nowadays. You know, we lack that extra discipline. Like, you know, obviously, yeah, Brother Chad talked about this, man. You see, the powers, they're not gonna promote fasting. They're not gonna promote, you know, celibacy. They're not gonna promote none of that, bro. Why? Because they can't control you. They don't want you, you know, going back to your natural state, your primal state as a man. We're supposed to be kings, leaders. You know, they don't want that. They want you to be like fucking. Sorry, bro, but now they want you to be like Austin Powers, bro. Want you to be chasing the women, acting corny, acting just cringy, bro. You know what I mean? They don't want you to be like a masculine man, you know. You know, that's what I'm saying. They don't want you to be like that Aquaman, Captain America type of man, you know. I don't have any idols. I'm just saying, bro. Like, you know, I could relate to like Captain America a little bit, man. Like when I was a kid, like I said, I've been skinny most of my life, and then now I'm trying to get bigger as I become a little bit, as I go up a little bit in age. So, you know, I could relate to him. And I don't know if I said this in other videos, but I almost was gonna go in the military. I go in the Navy last year. I mean, actually this year, the beginning of the year, but I was gonna do it, but Yahweh told me not to. So, you know, I had to give that up. But I was really thinking about it for a couple years since I was 18. But I thought I didn't have the balls to do it, and then this year I actually considered it. But Yahweh saying, "No, don't do it. It's a trap. You know, it's not for me." So I was like, "Alright, it's all good though, bro." Like I said, man, you don't want to be stuck in that environment for years, and like, you know, for other people in the military, man, like, you think about it, you would be in like not necessarily like a war zone type of environment, but bro, you're in an environment where you need to be prepared for battle and everything. Why would you not be celibate? Like, if I'm in that situation, I have to be celibate. It's not a choice. It's mandatory at that point. But people want to make excuses like bro, you're going to war, you're risking your life, you're already risking your life every day, being around all that machinery and all that type of equipment. Why would you think about releasing? It should be the last thing on your mind, you know what I mean? I just don't understand that, bro. How could you be in that type of environment and still think about releasing? I wouldn't. That would force me to go a long time. Like, obviously, yeah, I would not be thinking about that. I probably would not even release until I got back home from the military. If I went in, and obviously, yeah, if I had met a woman but I got back, that would have been different. But like, nah, bro, I'm not thinking about that. I'm not thinking about releasing on the base. I'm just saying if I went in, But I was thinking about this for years. I was like, bro, I have to fully lock in, bro. But anyways, it is what it is. Lock in with Yahweh. You don't need to do it. You don't need to do it in the world. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna put this together and I'm gonna come back again. Hold on. This is a good little post workout right here, bro. Like I said, I'm ready to eat, bro, for real. Fire, bro. Just cut this up, bro. So you guys can see me. Kind of sloppy, but it is what it is, bro. Let's go. Alright. My bad, I keep pausing it. I know my hands are kind of dirty, so I'm gonna wash my hands and I'm gonna pray over this. I'm gonna pray over it off camera, and then I'm gonna come back on camera to eat this and then start off with the scriptures. So hold on, give me a second. Alright, guys. I'm back in my room now. So, as I was saying, yeah, a lot of things we are missing now in society. It's like compared to like a couple hundred years ago, thousands of years ago. This was a bit more common, but it is what it is, man. So, excuse me. The first verse I want to start off with. No, hold up. See if it'll stand. It's all good. Whatever. Hopefully you guys can see me now. My bad, guys. I don't know what's going on with my computer. Okay, you know what? It is what it is. I'm gonna leave it, man. But yeah, so we're gonna go to Zechariah chapter 14, verse 4. And then going up to 7 later. But let me go up to let me start off at verse 4. So Zechariah chapter 14. Actually, I'm going to start off from 3. I might as well. I already got it circled. So from 3 to 7, then shall the Lord Yahweh go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle, and his feet shall stand in that day upon the mountain of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east, and the mountain of Olives shall cleave in the mists, thereof toward the east and toward the west, and there shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountains shall remove toward the north, and half of it toward the south. Verse 5 through 7 says, And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azel. Yeah, ye shall flee like as ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah. I don't know if that's how you say it, king of Judah, and the Lord Yahweh my God shall come, and all the saints with thee. And it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark. Verse 7 also says, But it shall come to pass, but it shall be one day, but it shall be one day which shall be known to the Lord Yahweh, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. So basically, I think what this is saying is, you shall not know, when the right time is for something. You know what I mean? Like, we could think we're good. We could think that, we could try to do things on our own. But like in this case, in the day of battle, in the day where they had to flee, where they had to, they had to start moving towards the other end of the valley. You know what I mean? So meaning, if Yahweh's telling you to do something, like you got to leave this place, you got to move, you got to do it. Because we could think that, oh no, like I'm good right now, I could do it tomorrow, or like, you know what I mean? Like right now, I may be at home, I'm good. I may think, okay, I'm chilling. I don't need to worry about nothing. Like I could do things on my there's a time where I could decide to do something or to go somewhere. But for example, like if something was to go down, like an earthquake or something, if Yahweh's telling me right now, leave now, just leave now, and I'm like, okay. I understand, but I gotta do it because I don't want to find out later. I don't want to, suffer the consequences. So I could be wrong, but I think that's what it means. And then in the next verse I'm going to read is in Malachi chapter 3, verse 10. So starting off with the Old Testament, and then going forward, we're going to go into the New Testament. So in verse 10 it says, Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house, and prove me now herewith, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. Amen. And see, this is what this is the answer one of my subs, to answer one of their comments, as I said, I'm gonna go more into depth about what we talked about, bro. So basically saying that Yahweh has a specific time for something to happen. And like how I said in my last video, I was upset that I wasn't really seeing many changes, and things may feel stuck. Some things may feel that way, but like I said, I understand that. I've accepted it over these past couple of days. I just said, man, like if my life is meant to be on pause, or like if it feels like for example, it feels like someone froze the timeline or someone slowed down the timeline, and it's like, if I'm meant to struggle like this, I'm meant to not receive blessings for months, years, if I'm meant to be like, how you call it, in this famine, just kind of dry for now, for how long, however long, 6 months, 3 to 4 years, then you know what that means. Like if there's, if I'm gonna be dry for a couple years, then that means I'm about to be in abundance for a couple years. So meaning in 3, 4 years from now, I could have lots of blessings in my life. So unfortunately, that's how it is. You know, Yahweh will withhold some blessings sometimes. Not to punish us, but just because He knows the right time. So I'm trying to understand this myself, but I just accepted it. I've accepted it over these past couple of days. Like if my life is meant to be, if it's meant to get harder from this moment forward, then I understand. I accept it. If like I said, if this is the way it's supposed to be, then I understand. He's not gonna pour out a blessing that I like. And this is what I realized. Like I said, I may want a relationship. I may want something. Like let's just be real. Like there's like a Jezebel you see or something on the street. You may want to have intercourse with her, but you don't need to. That's what I'm trying to say. Yahweh knows what's best for us. I may want something, but I don't need it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, He knows what I need, so He's gonna give me what I need when the time is right. So I think that's just what's gonna happen now. So I just really been reflecting these past couple of days, and I was gonna talk about this earlier in the video, but I think that was kind of like Yahweh's protection in disguise, man. But on Friday night, like it's weird, man, because I was at home. I was at home by myself again. I was feeling good, and then I started getting these temptations again, and I'm not perfect. Like I said, I almost did, which is why this is kind of weird. This is what I'm trying to say. If this was Yahweh's protection in disguise, then I'm kind of glad, but it's just kind of weird how this happened. Meaning, I'm gonna just be real with you guys that I I I decided to go smoke. I planned on going to smoke again on Friday. That temptation was gonna hit me, but when I had gone to smoke, it was weird. It's like it didn't properly hit. Like I didn't really feel much. It was weird. Like I tried to light the weed, but it didn't really hit, and that's what I'm like. What's going on, man? So I felt like I basically did that for nothing because I'm like, what was the point of me doing all that if I didn't even feel anything? So that's what I'm trying to think. Like I still attempted to smoke, but it didn't really count. I didn't really feel high. I'm gonna just be real. So I still feel guilty for that, but at the same time, like I feel like it didn't really count because like I don't know that this is like I don't know, that's like a very strange situation that I was in, and I'm just trying to like wrap my head around that because obviously I feel guilty because I almost did something, you know, based. I mean, going off temptation, but at the same time, it's like it didn't really count like as like a full on like high. I would say, you know what I mean, because really I didn't really feel anything. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I don't know. That's just something that's been on my mind these past couple of days. Like obviously I confess, I feel guilty, but I'm gonna act like nothing happened. Like I just confessed still, and I'm telling you guys, and then I'm gonna keep moving forward. But yeah, no, it's just weird, man. I don't know, but and then that's my other point, man. If I'm doing stuff like that, or like like I said, it's all in the past now. But even I edged a couple weeks ago, all this stuff. If Yahweh, if He's delaying my blessings now because of that, because of my actions, like I know there's consequences to my actions, and I may not see them now, but they may happen like in a couple weeks. Meaning when I did that was a couple weeks ago when I was edging and smoking a little bit. So I'm just trying to understand this, man, for real. And this goes to my other point, how I mean, this is no excuse, but yeah, we're all sinners, man. You just like when we were born with sin. It's like Adam and Eve, But it says that, I'm not talking down on women. I'm just saying that I notice women have led more men down the path of destruction because they were deceived first. Eve was deceived first. And as it says in 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 13 through 14, for Adam was first formed, then Eve. Verse 14 says, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. And verse 15 actually as well says, notwithstanding she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. So we got to be sober minded as well. So I understand, like, I got to be better with that. Can't be vulnerable to the enemy. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, Yahweh has mercy on us. And even a lot of these Jezebels, I try to look at the good in them. Yahweh still has mercy on them. They're still breathing. They're still alive. Yahweh's furious with them, all the stuff that they're doing. But who knows? They could be a future. I'm not saying pastor, man, but I'm saying, like, they could really be a sister in Christ one day, So, that's only up to him, He starts to work in their life. We'll see, man. But that's all I'm saying, bro. Is that? Excuse me, guys. Hold on. Damn it. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. I had to spit, and my foot. Thankfully, it's all good. My foot kind of went numb for a little bit, man. It felt kind of weird, man. But all I'm saying is that, a lot of things that I've accepted now, and just like, me talking about Adam now, that's funny how, he had work to do for the Father first before he got Eve and all this stuff. So this year, when I was caught up in the algorithm, looking at all these videos, me thinking that I was going to fall in love, I was going to find my soulmate soon, and it's just all, bro, it's all confusion, but I've accepted that, man. Like, obviously, yeah, I still fight my lustful temptations every day, so I'm gonna just be real. I would want a relationship. I don't need one right now. I'm not ready for one yet, so it is what it is. And I've accepted that Yahweh will take care of that later. I know I'm going to meet myself. I know all these things are going to happen. But me thinking they were going to happen this year, they're going to happen in a month. Like they're happening so soon. And now I'm thinking, bro, it may take years. And I'm cool with that. It's just, it was hard for me to just not understand because, like I said, all these other people trying to confuse me, trying to make me think that certain things are going to happen like next week soon, and then it doesn't happen. And I just feel disappointed, but Yahweh's always going to keep his promises. He's not going to do it when we decide. I mean, when we want to. And that's what makes his surprises, his timing so beautiful, so perfect, because he does it when we least expect it. He will just bless you out of the blue when you were not even expecting it, man. And hold on, let me just get. Excuse me. Let me get some of this peanut butter, bro. But like how I said, I'm cool with it, man. I know it was kind of hard for me to accept all year. I thought this year was gonna be great, and I'm not gonna lie, like this has been the worst year of my life. But definitely, a lot of lessons learned. Like I said, I'm not the same person that I was at all since the start of this year. I've been through too much. Just to have been the same, there's no way. What I'm saying is that, I want to stay positive, and I hope next year is better. But things are about to get harder next year, and I accept it. And like I said, I'm just being real. Like, Thankfully, you know, still retaining, still not watching sites. I'm glad. Like I said, I may have struggled with weed lately, the past couple weeks, but I'm not perfect, man. You know, I almost got urges to drink this weekend, but I was like, man, I'm doing so good, man. I've been drinking a long time. I'm not even keeping track anymore. But I'm more concerned about the smoking, bro, because the smoking, that's something that's had a hold on me my whole almost not my whole life, but for a long time. Like I said, since I was 13, 14. So like, I've just been doing that longer. It's had a hold on me longer. That's what I meant to say. If I gotta keep moving forward, like I said, if I really gotta do another fast, like I said, of course I'll do it, man. And you know, I'm just ready for any situation, man. Whatever Yahweh puts me through, I'll be ready. I'm just praying for more strength, bro. So yeah, man. That's what's gonna happen going forward. Is that I gotta pray for more strength. I gotta just relieve this stress. I gotta handle things better. Pray for more self control, and then to fight these, weed and lustful temptations, bro. Yeah, no, I think that's pretty much it, man. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, stay tuned for more content. Appreciate you guys. God bless you.